Hi. So far we discussed about classes. Class is nothing but a data type. It consists of properties. That is nothing but a variable, and the method. Method is nothing but task and functions. Then we saw about class assignment. Then shallow copy and deep copy. So here we are going to see one example for the class. So this is nothing but the class which is created for Ethernet packet. It is, we can say this is a sequence item or a transaction class. So Ethernet packet consists of these properties: preamble, SDF, destination and source, length and payload. Okay, it consists of these much bytes. Okay, the class name is Ethernet packet. Inside that, we are declaring the variables, nothing but the properties, preamble. Here itself we are assigning the value for preamble. Then SDF, destination, source, length, then payload. It is a dynamic array. Then function new. Here we are passing the argument int I. I we are passing as argument, and this I is assigned for length. And also payload is equal to new of I. So this is the way we are how to assign size of the dynamic array. Then here we have one task, that is nothing but a method load frame input L SRC source, then L destination. These are the input arguments. Then start data. Okay. So here we are assigning the received argument to the source, L destination to list, and payload size. Here payload size is assigned. Okay, so that size is equal to length. So length is taken by payload dot size. Then here we are passing the start data as an input argument. Based on the start data, we are if start data is greater than 0, it will get into this condition, and with the help of for loop, if length is 4, 4 times this loop will execute. So 4 values from start address plus I is assigned to payload of 0th position, and next iteration first position, second position, third position it will assign. Then another method we have to print the properties. $display fetch. The system task used to display the values in hexadecimal format. We are displaying the source, destination, length, and payload. Along with the index, here we are displaying. Okay. With the help of for loop, each iteration, we are displaying the value which is present in the payload along with the index. This I, this percentage H is for this I, this percentage H is for the payload of I. Okay. Then inside the module, I instantiate this Ethernet packet as a EP. Here I create a handle for this Ethernet packet. So this handle I can able to access the property or a method. Then initial begin end inside the initial block. I create a new. This new is used to allocate memory for this EP. Okay, Ethernet packet. Here I explicitly write function new. Okay, here int I, it is nothing but the argument, input argument. Here I am passing value 4. So when I call new, along with this I am passing value 4 that is assigned to this I. Now the length is 4 and payload size is 4. New of nothing but a 4. Then EP dot load frame. Load frame is nothing but this task name. I call this handle EP dot load frame. Here I am passing the values. Here we have 3 arguments, right? L, S, R, C, L, E, S, T, then start EAT data. Here I have this 55 is assigned for this one source and 66 for destination and 77 for start data. Then EP dot print. EP is the handle name dot print. I am calling this print function. So when I call this, automatically this display will display the corresponding value. Source is nothing but 55. Okay, source we are passing here. It is assigned to L, source is assigned to SRC. It's nothing but these variables. Okay. So here I am printing SRC. So the value is 55 and destination is 66. We are passing through this load frame and it is assigned to the variable which is present in this class. Then length payload size is 4. So here length, how it is taking value 4. This is payload dot size. So payload dot size is nothing but here we are passing 4, right? This one is the size of the payload. So it takes 4 and it gets printed here. Then values. Started as 77 is greater than 0. So here we are giving the condition for increment the payload data. Started as 77 plus I, initial value is 0. So first value payload of 0 is 77 and first is 78 and 79. 80 index value is 78. Then after that, again EP equal to new of 1. So here I pass value 1. So the size of the payload is 1 and length also 1. So we can able to load only one value. So length is 1. So I equal to 0, I less than 1. So we can able to load only one value. Okay. Here we are passing 22 as a start address, 33 as a destination address, 44 as a start data. So 44 and then we will get the only one data able to store in the payload. So for this EP dot print we are getting this one. Then if we need we can make it null. Here we are creating the memory for EP Ethernet packet and finally we make it as a null. The next one is parameterized class. So parameterization of a code helps with effective reuse of code. So parameterization will help or increase the reusability. So let's see how it is reused. So class can be parameters for type and value. We can parameterize the type like int, byte. Okay. These are the types. So we can parameterize the type or the values. See, don't think all the possibility in the below example. Ash is used to indicate that is a parameterized one. And class can be parameters with any data type available in the ESP. So type, we can use any data type that is available in Stangler. Parameterized class can be extended. We can inherit the parameterized class. Okay, the types also we will see in the next slide. So this is one small example. Class packet. This as indicates that this packet is a parameterized class. Here which one is parameterized? Int address width equal to 32. So address width, here we are parameterized the value. Address width value is 32 and data with value is 32. Okay. So this is the default values for address with and data with. So instead of mentioning each and everywhere in the code, for example, here I declare address. Address is nothing but a 32 bits. So 31 is to 0, I need to mention. Instead of that, I am declared as a bit address with -1 is to 0 address. Okay. This address with is nothing but 32. So 31 is to 0 is address. Then bit data with -1 is to 0 is data. So this is the use of parameterization. Okay. So already these are the use of parameterization in the Verilog. Okay. So we want to change this address as a 8-bit address with as 8-bit. If I change here, it will automatically affect all the places. If I didn't use the parameterization, each and every location I need to go and I need to change the values. Then inside the function new, address is assigned as 10 and data is assigned as 20. Here packet, here I insert the packet as pkt somewhere inside the module. Okay, so packet handle is created. In the packet handle, default width of address and data is 32 bit and the value of address is 10, data is 20. Now if I want to make the address width as 32 and data width as 64. So while declaring or while instantiating the handle, likewise packet pkt I am declaring. During the declaration, we can override that one in this way: hash 32, 64. So create the packet handle with new values. So here 32 is assigned for this address width. Okay, the address is 32 bit and the data is a 64 bit. Okay, pass a data type to a class. Okay, let's see how to pass the data. Pass the data type. So class packet, it's a parameterized class. With the help of this hash symbol, we can make a class as a parameterized class. So here we are, it's a type. This type is parameterized. Type t equal to int. So instead of using int, I can represent t. Okay, t is nothing but the int data type. So t address, t data, then function new. Inside the function new function, I assign address as 10 and data as 20. Then here I declared the packet as a pkt. So in this pkt, the address and data all are int data type. Okay. Now in some other module, if I want to make this address and data as a bit 32 bit, okay, default it is a int data type, it is nothing but int. If I want to make this address and data as 32 bit type, so I can override the parameters like this: packet hash bit 31 is to 0 pkt. So now in this instance, pkt instance, the address and data are all are 32 bit, not int. So we'll see one example of this. This one is the first example. So we can able to see so class transaction in class. So here it is a parameterized class. Here which one is parameterized? T is parameterized as int is the type parameterization. So here value size variable for this we are assigning value 3. So this is value is parameters. then CRC into CRC instead of into CRC, I represent as T CRC. Then SA is nothing but a 4-bit variable. So size is nothing but 3 is to 0. Here we are parameterized the size as 3. So we are representing size is to 0 as SA. And function new is at T type A. We are receiving the A and it is assigned to SA. So this is the function, end function. If you are using multiple function to avoid the confusion, we can use this label. This is optional. You can use :new. Okay, we have one task called CRC. So within the end task, we can represent the label of this name. Then T is also greater than T small t. Okay, this is argument we are receiving that T is assigned to this CRC, which is present here. So SC is a variable. For that, here we are assigning the value, the new method, and yes, CRC is a variable. For that, here we are assigning the value with the help of call CRC method. Then we have another method, void print function, void print, which is to display the value of size, source address, and CRC. Here we are. So inside the model tab, I within the initial, begin, end. Here I use fortran. So all the statements which is represented inside this fortran will run parallelly. Here we have two processes. One is this begin end, another one is this begin end. So here what we are doing, I instantiate the transaction. It's nothing but this class name transaction. As trans, and I created allocate a memory of 4. So automatically this new function will be called, and 4 is assigned to this A, and 4 is assigned to this start plus AC. And then trans call CRC, tran to this handle, we are access this call CRC task, and we are passing 6. So 6 is assigned to this CRC. And then we are calling this print method, so it will print values. Let's check here. So size, what is the size here? I'm passing 3. Size is nothing but 3. Okay. Here we are passing the value of SA. Okay, size is default value of size is 3. Okay, is 3, and source address we are passing as 4. Okay, here SA is nothing but 4. List.sk. Okay. This is 4. Then CRC 6 we are passing. So this is the CRC value. CRC is nothing but T int data type. So it consists of 32 bit. So it is shown in 32 bit. So in this process, we are overriding. Okay, this T is nothing but default. T is nothing but int. Okay. Now here in this line, okay, what I am doing is I am overriding the type. In T is nothing but int by default. Here I make it as a byte, and the size, dot size by default is 3. Okay, I make it as a 5 here. During the instantiation, I can able to change the type and as well as value. Then I pass 5 for SA and 2 for CRC. So I am getting 2 here for CRC and 5 for the SA. And the size, now I make it as 5. Then if you see, it's a byte. T is nothing but byte. So CRC is nothing but a byte. So it consists of only 8 bits. So it is printed in 8 bits. Certainly it is int. Now I overwrite this one with byte. So it consists of 8 bits. The value 2 is represented in 8 bits. Next is inheritance. It is a very important concept in system Verilog. Okay, how in um, real life the child have the property or like characters, physical appearance of their parents. So this is called inheritance. Okay, the property of the parent, that is habits, okay, characteristics, then physical appearance. So those characters, this comes to this child, that is inherited. Okay. So in the same way, their inheritance is an OOPS concept that allows user to create class that are built upon existing class. By the existing class, you can able to create another class. It consists of the property and method which is available in the existing class. Then the new class will be with new properties and methods along with having access to all the property and methods of the original class. So for example, class A is nothing but the base class. It consists of the properties and methods. Class B is nothing but the extended, or we can say as a child class. So it consists of all the properties and methods which is available in the base class. We can able to access those methods and property which is available in the base class. Okay, and we can add some more properties and methods in the child class. Okay. So how to do this? With the help of this extend keyword. Class root packet. So root packet is a base class. Okay, assume that this is root packet. Okay, I need to create a extended class or a child class from this base class root packet. So class root packet is the name of this class. Extends root packet. So this is the way we can inherit base class properties and methods to the child class. So one small example you can say, you can see for the inheritance. So this is the parent class. It consists of address. This is a property of the parent class. Now I create a child class. Okay. By using here, I am doing the inheritance with the help of extend keyword. Parent class name should be comes here. Class child class extends parent class. So this is the general syntax. Okay. Then here I have a new property. Bit 31 is 0 data. So this address, if I extend from the parent, the child class defaultly consists of the property of the parent class. So this address will be automatically present here. Okay. Along with that, we have another property data. So this child class consists of data as well as address. In module name is inheritance. So within the initial block, I instantiate the child class as C, and I create function new. Here I call u of. Then c dot address. So there it will automatically present with help of the inheritance concept. So c dot address I assigned as 10, c dot data this value is assigned as 20. Then with the help of dollar display I print the value of address and data. We are getting 10 and 20 which is assigned here. So address is not there, we are not mentioning the address because when you do the inheritance, automatically whatever the methods or properties available in the parent class or a base class will come automatically to the child class. The child class, we can add some more property if you need. Properties, method, constraints can be overridden in derived class. So we can able to override in the child class. So let's see with the example. Super is a keyword used to access the fields declared in the base class, and this is used to this keyword is used to access the field declared in the derived class or the parent class. Understand this one? I explain with an example. Okay, here class parent is a base class. It consists of base property int base property equal to 5. Then function void print. This is here we are displaying I am in base class print base property we are displaying. It will display as 5. Now I am doing the inheritance. Class child extends from this parent. So automatically this base property will come to child. Okay. Now I want to override this one. The value of base property is 5. Okay. Now I want to override the value here. Okay. So I can, if I explicitly written the same int base property equal to 12, so it will override the base class property. Okay. So actually, if I didn't mention this line, okay, so this int base property equal to 5 will automatically available there. The base property value is 5. If I want to override that one, I need to write explicitly int base property equal to 12. Okay, now the base property value is 12. And function inside function print, inside this function, I am calling the print function of the base class. If I write function void print, it will override the base class method. Okay. So if I want to print this one, I can call with the help of super.print. Super is a keyword is used to access the base class property or a method. Okay. So super.print will call this base class print and it will display I am in base class print and it will print the value of 5. Then after that line, with the help of dollar display, I am printing that I am in derived class print extra property. This value extra property is 10 and the base class property here it is 12 and slash t. So after some space again I display the base property can extra property and super dot base property. So this base property okay. So this here I am printing the extra property and there are two base properties are there. One is this one, another one is this one. For the first base property, I use super dot base property. So super means call the base or parent. So what value you will get? You will get 5. And for base property, you will get value as 12. Check here. Here inside the top module, I am instantiating this child as C and parent as P, and create, and with the help of new constructor I create a memory for this, and dot p dot print the parent display. This one will get print. So that is the first print you will get. So this one, I am in the base class print base property equal to 5. So this one, okay. And then after that this after this one again I for C I create a new of, and I print C dot print. C dot print means so this print. So what you will get here, we are calling super dot print. So automatically it will call the parent display. So you will get I am in the base class print base class property 5. Okay. Then this dollar display. Here you will get I am in derived class print, and the extra property is 10, and the first base property, which is nothing but we are calling super dot base property. So you will get 5, this value present in the base class, and this base property is nothing but this one. So we are getting 12. Okay. So in this way we can able to override the methods and properties which is inherited from the base class. So another example is there. So this example is used here. I am going to explain the use of local and protected keyword. Okay. So this concept is called encapsulation. So here during the inheritance, the child class, here it is child class, the child class can be able to access the variable which is declared as a protected. Okay. But this variable will not be accessed by outside the class apart from this base class. For example, if I want to access this SA inside the top module, it will throw an error. Okay. If I declare a variable as a local, so it is the scope of this variable SA is only inside this class, even though the child class or extended class cannot able to access the SA. Okay. Here I am accessing because I declared as protected. Okay. So I will explain in detail. So the class name is Ethernet packet. So inside this class, the properties are declared here: preamble and SDF, SA and DA, the length, payload, CRC. Okay. Here few variables are declared as a RAND and RANC. So that we will discuss during the randomization concept. Then here we are writing a function new. So here there are two arguments. One is extended source address, default value is 23, and CRC values F4. And function void print is just displaying this line, a base class Ethernet packet print function. Then constraints also we will discuss detail in the during the randomization concept. So here the constraint is nothing but length should be less than 3. Then Here we wrote another constraint for payload. Okay, constraint name. Payload size should be equal to length. So if length is selected as a 1, 0 or 2, okay, so the payload size is same as length. Okay, here class good packet is extended from the Ethernet packet. So all these properties and methods are available in the class good packet. Now extra property, int extra property is the variable I added in the good packet. Then function new. So when I write function new here, it will override the existing function new which is available here during the inheritance by the inheritance concept. This function new will be available by default here. So if I write explicitly here, so that will be overridden. Then here I create a function void print. So this one will be override when I write this explicitly. So here I am calling that print which is available in the base class with the help of super keyword. Super.print will call the base class print method. Then I am printing derived class print. Then super.sa equal to af. So super.sa is nothing but this variable. It is declared as productive. So when we declared a variable with the productive, okay, the child class or the derived class can able to access this variable. Okay. So when you declare this as local, even though the child class will not able to access the variable. Here I display the SA value and the constraint we are making length equal to 10. Really the constraint for length C is less than 3. Here, even though the constraint can be override when we write with the same name, length C. So in the good packet, the constraint is applied as a length equal to 10. Here inside the test bench.sv, that is nothing but the top module. Okay. Here I include the file, the Ethernet packet file. Then inside the model, here I instantiate the good packet and Ethernet packet, both the child class and as well as base class. Okay. And within the initial beginning, display normal operation. PKT is nothing but Ethernet packet base PKT. New, I created new and I just print PKT dot. So this display will get printed. So which one I will get? Base class Ethernet packet print function. Normal operation inside the constructor packet base class equal to print function I am getting. Then with inheritance, okay, with inheritance inside, so here assert pkt dot randomize. So when I call this dot randomize pkt, g pkt is nothing but the handle of good pkt. Through this handle, so randomize is a method that will randomize the variable which is declared as rand. Okay. So this SDF, DA, then length, payload, everything will get randomized value when you call this dot randomize. Then display GPKT length. So GPKT length will be 10 because we are writing the constraint in the good packet. Length should be equal to 10. So it is taken as 10. Then gpkt dot print. So this one will be called, okay, this print. So inside this print we are calling super dot print. So automatically we call the base class print. So base class print, which is this is available, right? So it will print here base class Ethernet packet print. After that line, in the red class put packet print. We are getting here, and SA value we are assigning. SA is nothing but a super.sa. Okay, super.sa, super means which is available in the base class SA. So there you are declared that SA as a product. So when you declare with the product, the child class can able to access. So this value is AF we are assigning, and we are displaying super.sa as AF here. Now same thing is available. I just change this as local. And I'm running again. See, we are getting error. Local member SCA of the class Ethernet packet is not visible to the scope root packet. So when you declare as a local, only that class can able to access, even though the child class cannot be accessed. Now it is again I change it as a productor. Now I am accessing from the top test bench. Okay. Here I assign and accessing SA pkt.sa and assign values as FK. Okay. See, now also we can't able to access because productor is only can the child class can able to access. Outside the class from the top we cannot able to access the productor variable. When you declare as local, even the child class cannot be accessed. When you declare as a productor, the child class can able to access, but the top or outside this class we can't able to access the variables. You will get the error message. Okay. Parameterized class inheritance. So parameterized class may be inherited. So these are the possible ways we can inherit the parameterized class. Let's see one by one. So this is the base class. So class D base is a parameterized class. Type T equal to int. So it is nothing but int type. T payload of 512. So payload is 512 size of a int data type. Okay. Now this is the first way. Class D1 extends D base. Okay. So D base is nothing but this base class name. I am inheriting D1 from D base. So when I inherited, automatically this is the handle of D1 handle I created, and the help of new constructor I create a memory, create an object for this D1 handle. So inside this D1 handle, T is int type. T base is nothing but this class. Here we parameterized the type T as int. Okay. So when you inherit from this D base, this D1 also we can use T. T is nothing but the int data type. The next one is class D1 derived from specification of D base. So D2 is extended from D base as dot T of string. So while inheriting, I make the type T as string. I can able to override here. Okay. So So D2 handle, I create D2 handle equal to new. So in the D2 handle, if I mention T, that indicates a string data type. Okay. Then next one is class D3 as type R equal to bit extends D base. So from this D base, I am extending a class D3. While extending, I make R equal to bit. So this D3, here I create a handle for this. So this D3 handle consists of T and R. T defaultly is a int, and R I create another variable. This is nothing but a R type. Is a R. It is nothing but a bit type. T represent int and R represent bit. The last one is class D4 is extend from D base. Here, while extending, I override T as R. Okay, and I am making the R as parameterizing the R as type of bit. Okay, so T and R both are bit in this handle. After this, I create a handle for D4. D4 handle equal to new, and here also we can able to override the type. So this is the one way we can override. Okay, during the extends or inheritance, or during the handle creation we can able to override the type or a value. Okay. Here this one R is nothing but the bit. While create a handle for handle D4 handle, I'm overriding this dot R as a byte. So R is nothing but the byte data type. So you see an example for this. Okay. Class ETH packet is a base class. Okay, it consists of int count, only one property. Here class is the another class, separate another class. Class storage, it is a parameterized class. Okay, this is a normal class, and this one is a parameterized class. We are using hash and type t equal to logic and int size equal to 3 and t a of size. So int a of 3 is by default. So here I create another class. This is the extended class, extend from storage. Okay. Here during the inheritance, I am overriding the size. Default size is 3, dot size of 6. So this NP class, the size by default is 6. Okay. So function print, I am displaying with the help of dollar display size equal to the percentage d. So when I call this print, it will display as a 6. So another class, it is inherited, extends from ETH packet on this. Okay. Here, during the inheritance, during the extends on the base class, I parameterized the type t as bit, and this is count. This count is declared as a t. So in the base class, count is a type of int, but in the derived class, count is nothing but a type of bit. Okay. And in the function print, I just display the count in percentage d. And in top module, I instantiate the storage class as a st int object. Then np class, then p class, this one. The 3 classes I instantiated, and for this class, I create a new here. This is the one way, or you can also create new can call the new function as like this. During the instantiation itself, we can able to uh, assign the new one. The dollar display percentage p st. Okay. So here percentage p is used to display in packed format. So it will display this one. A is a variable. So size is 3. Okay. So each location we can store integer. Default it is a logic. So we can able to store 3 bits or 3 logic values. Then in NOP class, NP class, NP dot print the size. The NP dot print. You see, this actual value of size is 3 in the storage class. Here in the NP class, we are overriding the size as 6. Okay. When I call this print, I am getting the value 6 here. And the P class, I insert here, and then I create a new this line itself. Here I just call the print of this P class, this line. Okay. So count T count. Okay, count default data type is int. Okay. During the inheritance, I override that one here as bit. Okay. So it will display in a single bit, count equal to 0. So these are the ways we can able to override the parameterized classes, values or types. So we will see in the next session. Thanks.